Yirmiyahu, or Jeremiah, chapters 4 through 6. If you do return, O Israel, declares Yehovah, return to me. And if you remove your abominations from my presence and cease straying, and shall swear as Yehovah lives, in truth and right ruling and in righteousness, then nations shall bless themselves in him and shall boast in him. For this is what Yehovah said to the men of Yehuda and Jerusalem: break up your tillable ground and do not sow among thorns. Circumcise yourselves unto Yehovah and take away the foreskins of your hearts, you men of Yehuda and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my wrath come forth like fire and burn with none to quench it, because of the evil of your deeds. Declare in Yehuda and let it be heard in Jerusalem, and say, blow a shofar in the land, cry aloud and say, gather yourselves and let us go into the walled city. Lift up the banner toward Zion. Be strong, do not stand still, for I am bringing evil from the north and great destruction. A lion has come up from his bush, and the destroyer of nations is on his way. He is set out from his place to make your land a ruin. Your cities are laid waste without inhabitant. For this, gird yourselves with sackcloth, and lament and wail, for the burning displeasure of Yehovah has not turned back from us. And in that day it shall be, declares Yehovah, that the heart of the sovereign shall perish, and the heart of the heads, and the priests shall be astonished, and the prophets wonder. Then I said, Ah, Master Yehovah, truly you have greatly deceived this people and Jerusalem, saying, peace is for you, whereas the sword reaches the heart. At that time it shall be said to this people and to Jerusalem, a scorching wind of the bare heights blows in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan or to cleanse. A wind too strong for this shall come from me. Now it is I who speak judgments against them. See, he comes up like clouds, and his chariots like a whirlwind. His horses shall be swifter than eagles. Woe to us, for we shall be ravaged. O Jerusalem, wash your heart from evil and be saved. Till when would your wicked thoughts remain within you? For a voice is declaring from Dan, and is proclaiming trouble from Mount Ephraim. Announce to the nations, look, proclaim against Jerusalem, that besiegers are coming from a distant land, and raise their voice against the cities of Yehuda. Like keepers of a field, they are against her all around, because she's rebelled against me, declares Yehovah. Your ways and your deeds have brought this upon you. This is your evil, because it is bitter, because it has reached into your heart. Oh, my inward parts, I am in pain. Oh, the walls of my heart pounds in me. I'm not silent. For you've heard, oh, my being, a voice of a shofar, a shout of battle. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for all the land is ravaged. Suddenly, my tents are ravaged, my curtains, in a moment. How long shall I see a banner and hear a voice of a shofar? For my people are foolish, they have not known me. They are stupid children, they have no understanding. They're wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. I looked at the earth and saw it was formless and empty, and the heavens they had no light. I looked at the mountains and saw they shook, and the hills were swaying. I looked and saw there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens had fled. I looked and saw the garden land was a wilderness, and all its cities were broken down at the presence of Yehovah by his burning displeasure. For thus said Yehovah, all the earth shall be a ruin, but I shall not make a complete end. On account of this, let the earth mourn and the heavens above be dark, because I have spoken, because I have purposed, and shall not relent, nor do I turn back from it. All the city is fleeing from the noise of the horsemen and the bowmen. They shall go into bushes and climb up on rocks. All the city is forsaken, and no one's dwelling in it. And when you are ravaged, what would you do? Though you put on crimson, though you adorn yourself with ornaments of gold, though you enlarge your eyes with paint. You beautify yourself in vain. Your lovers despise you. They seek your life. For I've heard a voice as of a woman in labor, the distress as of her who brings forth her first child. The voice of the daughter of Zion. She bewails herself. She spreads out her hands, saying, woe to me, for my being faints because of killers. Chapter 5. Diligently search the streets of Jerusalem, and please look and know and seek in her open places if you find a man, if there's anyone doing right ruling, seeking the truth, then I shall pardon her. Even when they say, as Yehovah lives, they swear falsely for certain. O Yehovah, are your eyes not on truth? You've stricken them, but they've not grieved. You've consumed them, but they've refused to receive instructions. They've made their faces stronger than rock. They refused to turn back. Then I said, these are only the poor. They've been foolish, for they've not known the way of Yehovah, the right ruling of their Elohim. Let me go to the great men and speak to them, for they've known the way of Yehovah, the right ruling of their Elohim. But these have altogether broken the yoke and torn off the bonds. Therefore a lion from the forest shall strike them, a wolf of the deserts ravage them. A leopard is watching over their cities. Whoever comes out of them is torn in pieces. For their transgressions have been many, their backslidings have been numerous. Why should I pardon you for this? Your children have forsaken me and sworn by those that are not mighty ones. When I had filled them up, then they committed adultery, and they thronged to the house of a whore. They were like well-fed horses. Everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife. Why would I not punish them for this, declares Yehovah, and why would I not avenge my being on such a nation as this? Go up on her walls and destroy, but do not make a complete end. Take away her branches, for they do not belong to Yehovah. For the house of Israel and the house of Yehudah have utterly betrayed me, declares Yehovah. They've been untrue to Yehovah and said, it is not he. No evil comes upon us, nor do we see swords or scarcity of food. And the prophets have become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall be done to them. Therefore thus said Yehovah, Elohim of hosts, because you speak this word, see, I'm making my words in your mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. See, I'm bringing a nation against you from afar, O house of Israel, declares Yehovah. It's an enduring nation. It's an ancient nation, a nation whose language you do not know, nor do you understand what they say. Their quiver is like an open burial site. All of them are mighty men, and they shall eat up your harvest and your bread, which your sons and daughters should eat. They shall eat up your flocks and your herds, and they shall eat up your vines and your fig trees. With the sword they shall demolish your walled cities in which you're trusting. But Even in those days, declares Jehovah, I shall not make a complete end of you. And it shall be when they say, why does Jehovah our Elohim do all this to us? Then you shall answer them, as you have forsaken me and served mighty ones in your land, so you shall serve strangers in a land that's not yours. Declare this in the house of Yaakov and proclaim it in Yehudah, saying, hear this now, O foolish people without heart, who have eyes and see not, and who have ears and hear not. Do you not fear me, declares Yehovah? Do you not tremble at my presence, who have placed the sand as the boundary of the sea by an everlasting law, and it does not pass over? Though its waves toss to and fro, they are not able. Though they roar, they do not pass over it. But this people has a backsliding and rebellious heart, and they've turned aside and gone astray. And they do not say in their heart, let us now fear Yehovah our Elohim, who gives us rain, both the former and the latter in its season. He guards for us the required bylaw, weeks of the harvest. Your crookednesses have turned these away, and your sins have kept the good from you. For among my people are found wrong men who lie in wait as one who sets snares. They've set a trap. They catch men. As a cage is filled with birds, so their houses are filled with deceit. Therefore, they've become great and grown rich. They've become fat. They are sleek. They also overlook the deeds of their wrong. They did not rightly rule the cause of the fatherless so that they prosper. And the rights of the needy they did not rightly rule. Would I not punish them for this, declares Yehovah? Would I not revenge myself on such a nation as this? An astounding and horrible matter has come to the land. The prophets have prophesied falsely, and the priests rule by their own hand. And my people have loved it so. And what are you going to do at the end of it? And chapter 6. O children of Benjamin, gather yourselves to flee out of the midst of Jerusalem, blow a shofar in Tekoa, and set up a signal fire in Beth Hakarim. For evil has been seen from the north, and great destruction. I shall cut off the lovely and delicate one, the daughter of Zion. The shepherds with their flocks shall come to her. They shall pitch their tents against her all around. They shall pasture, each one in his own place. Set apart battle against her. Arise and let us go up at noon. Woe to us, for the day goes away, for the shadows of the evening are lengthening. Arise, let us go by night, and let us destroy her palaces. For thus said Yehovah of hosts, cut down her trees, and cast up a siege mound against Jerusalem. She is the city to be punished, in whose midst there is only oppression. As a well flows with water, so she flows with her evil. Violence and destruction are heard in her. Before me continually are suffering and smiting. Be instructed, O Jerusalem, lest my being be torn from you, lest I make you a waste land, a land not inhabited. Thus said Yehovah of hosts, let them thoroughly glean as a vine, the remnant of Israel. Pass your hand again over the branches like a grape gatherer. To whom shall I speak and give warning so that they hear? See, their ear is uncircumcised, and they're unable to listen. See, the word of Yehovah is a reproach to them. They do not delight in it. Therefore I'm filled with the wrath of Yehovah. I've become weary of containing it. Pour it out on the children outside and on the company of young men together. For even husband and wife shall be taken, the aged and the very old, and their houses shall be turned over to others, fields and wives together. For I shall stretch out my hand against the inhabitants of the land, declares Yehovah. For from the least of them, even to the greatest of them, they're all greedy for gain. And from the prophet, even to the priest, all act falsely. And they heal the breach of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. Were they ashamed when they had done abomination? No, they were not at all ashamed, nor did they know how to blush. Therefore, they shall fall among those who fall. They shall stumble at the time I visit them, said Yehovah. Thus said Yehovah, stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where the good way is, and walk in it, and find rest for yourselves. But they said, we do not walk in it. And I raised up watchmen over you and said, listen to a voice of a shofar. But they said, we do not listen. Therefore, hear, you nations, and know, O congregation, what is upon them. Hear, O earth, see, I'm bringing evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they've not listened to my words nor my Torah, and they rejected it. What need have I of frankincense from Sheba, and sweet cane from a distant land? Your ascending offerings are not acceptable, and your slaughterings have not been sweet to me. Therefore, thus said Yehovah, see, I'm laying stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall stumble on them. The neighbor and his friend shall perish. Thus said Yehovah, see, a people shall come from the land of the north, and a great nation is stirred up from the farthest parts of the earth. They strengthen their bow and spear. They are cruel and have no compassion. Their voice roars like the sea, and they ride on horses, set in array as a man for battle against you, O daughter of Zion. We've heard report of it. Our hands grow weak. Distress has taken hold of us. Pains as of a woman in labor. Do not go out into the field, nor walk by the way. Because of the sword of the enemy, fear is on every side. O daughter of my people, gird on sackcloth and roll about in ashes. Make mourning as for an only son. Most bitter lamentation, because suddenly the ravager shall come upon us. I've made you a trier and a stronghold among my people, so that you know, and shall try their way. All of them are rebels of rebels, walking as slanderers. They are bronze and iron, all of them are corrupters. The bellows have burned, the lead has been consumed by fire. The refiner has refined in vain. For those who are evil have not been separated. They shall call them rejected silver, because Yehovah has rejected them.